Hello everybody, it's Survival Commando here with you, and I have some knife prawn for you. You may have seen this knife in some recent videos. Some people have asked me about it and commented on it, and they wanted to see more of it. I've actually had this for a long time, not a real long time, maybe 5-6 years, something like that. And it is a hollow handled knife, so let's get that out of the way first. A lot of people hate on hollow-handled knives, but, you know, hey, if you don't like them, just go get a full-tang knife, man. Shut up. You know, and ironically, I don't actually have anything inside this handle because I haven't decided what I want to put in there yet. I've been working on it. I'm getting a lot of my gear together. The compass works great, though. But I do have stuff stashed in this great sheath, which is a nylon sheath, and it has its own survival pouches. And I'll get to that a little bit later. But let's take a look here. I thought you guys would like that. It is pretty sharp. I've used it a lot lately. I need to probably sharpen it a little bit, but I have another one of these that's still in the box and everything. Has all the original stuff with it, and I touched the blade one day and it basically sliced me in half. I mean, it bled and bled and it took forever to heal up. It was razor sharp. And the first thing you will notice is it really looks like a cross between a Bushmaster Survivor and a Jimmy Lyle knife. Kind of like they got together and had a love child. It even has the little it has a little compass etched into the blade there. It's got the clip point. I just a minute ago hacked up a bunch of vines, I mean thick vines, and like jungle vines and some saplings with this, and it cut right through them. And this thing is still stout. Some of the cheaper knives that you used to get like this, of that type, that's why it got a bad reputation, because it would get weak here, because that's always going to be a weak point. I mean, we know that, but this one doesn't have that problem. Now, modern survivalists and YouTubers and people like that will tell you, well, you can't baton wood with a hollow handle survival knife. No, but you really shouldn't be batoning wood anyway. It's knife abuse. You're not supposed to go, you know, trying to destroy your blade. It's okay to do that for some kind of review or something like that, to do drop tests and that sort of thing. But if you take care of your equipment, it'll last forever, you know. I've had a bunch of knives similar to this. You know, I had them back in the 80s, back when there was the survival knife craze of First Blood and all that went with that. I had a bunch of those knives. We'll talk about that in another video. I just kind of wanted to show you guys this and talk about it a little bit. So, yeah, and it's got that little compass. So, yeah. So that's that. But I do have the sheath already kitted out. I don't have the original stuff that went in this one, but I've kind of replicated it. They did come with a little rubberized flashlight. Some of them did. Some of them came with just like a little flat. Depends on what time period you got. But I updated it, and I've got this nice LED flashlight. And this has been in here for a few years, and it's just a little sport. Got it at Ace Hardware. Just a little cheap flashlight that has held up pretty well. I probably need to replace that with something waterproof though, now that I think about it. But it's working for the moment. And here is a great, these came with a compass. This is not the compass that came with it though. They came with an extra, you know, nice compass. So this one is something like, actually, it's so small a print I can't read what it says. But this is something very similar to a Sunto type map compass. It's very nice though. It fits in there compact. And I have better compasses than that really, but you know, this, I make sure I always have some kind of navigation with me like that. So that goes right there. And I've got the there's the flashlight. There's another pouch up here. Oh, let's take a look here. Let's see. Some tripwire. Gotta have your booby traps, right? Pretty good quality, looks like a Cordura nylon sheath. All this is very useful. I've used this a lot, you know, even the lanyard for your leg and all that. Actually, a lot of times on those leather sheaths, those just got in the way and ripped up. On this, it works great. It has the retaining strap and everything. You can't beat it. I can't say anything bad about the knife. You probably don't want to go around and use them as a weapon, really. I mean, they're not really supposed to be for combat. What I mainly use it for is cutting brush and clearing a campsite, that type of thing. You know, it holds an edge pretty well and all that. And interestingly enough, the reason I actually became obsessed with this particular knife itself, as opposed to like one of the United Cutlery's First Blood replicas or something like that. The reason I wanted this one was it was actually used in a movie also. There's an old movie called Nightbreed by Clive Barker. And this is very briefly seen along in a knife collection on a table by the villain, serial killer in that movie. If you go back and watch it, it's a good movie. It's got one of these on the table along with a bunch of other, you know, various blades of that time period. It was a 1980s movie though, so it shows you they had these all the way back then. I tried to get one of these back in the 80s and I never could find this particular model. I wanted this one or the what was called the Ram 2, I think, which was very similar, and I never could get it. You know, every time you try to go get it, somebody already buy them up, or there was no internet back then, so you just couldn't, you know, you had to wait till something showed up in a catalog or go to a knife show to get anything. Somebody else could have bought it up at some point. You know, I was a kid, so by the time I got the money to buy something, it would be gone. I started building a little collection of knives, and I would trade them, like I would trade up. And like I think I had one of the, I didn't have a K-bar back in the day, but I had one of those little USAF survival knives, the little ones, like a, who made those, like Camillus or something, I can't remember. It had a little saw back on it and a blood groove and everything on it. I think I had one of those. So anyway, let's take it and test it. Alright, so if you're on the trail and you've got a lot of things blocking you, you can just, almost with one whack, man. You need to be able to cut things that are like really tough, but they're like small vines. Great for pathfinding, especially when you get into thorns. Let's see, let me try this one again here. Let me try to get it in one good whack. There we go. Good. Good enough. Good. Let's try this one right here. So you just flick it. If you got to put a lot of effort into it, your blade is is dull. Okay, so that's that demo. Let's cut down this poor tree here. Not as good as a machete, for sure, or an axe. It'd be difficult to do this with something like a K-bar. You really, you kind of need sort of a bush knife. That's what I call them, bush. Survivalist See how it's doing there? Go. Let gravity do the work. This is kind of fun, actually. There you go. All right. Cut it clean. That clanking you hear is the little guard, which you can take off if you want. But this thing, it's got good flex to it. I really hate to show you this and do a review on it, but these are really hard to get anymore because I just don't think that these are made anymore. They were made, they sold them through Bud K a few years ago, and then they stopped making them. And I was glad to get two of them. I bought this one. I got one from Canada. I had actually had them send it to me in the box and everything. It was like 120, something like that. It was around $100 when Bud K had been selling them for like 39, right? Yeah, Bud K was selling them, and the same knife, same deal, $39, and I got that. So I just desperately had them send it to me. I didn't care what the price was. I had to have it. And then I was like really into the Nightbreed. I was really into like, you know, horror and survival stuff, and I said I got to have that. But then later on, I saw somebody selling one on eBay for not a whole lot. And I think I bought it for maybe like 40 bucks again. And this is it right here. It didn't have a lot. It didn't have the box with it, but it was in excellent shape. It didn't look like it had been used ever. It had some of the stuff with it, some of the survival stuff. So I've been using this one ever since. And it's kind of like my I wouldn't say it's a go-to knife, but I don't know, man. You know, it's fun. I'll tell you that much. It does what I want it to do. Now, incidentally, people may know it or not know it, but hollow-handled survival knives were used pretty extensively in Vietnam, mostly by pilots. There might have been some, you know, special forces people that had them. Green Berets might have had some Randall knives that were hollow-handled, but it was a thing. You know, it was a thing. You know, they weren't large knives like this. They also use, you know, some people use K-bars a little bit. Buck knives were used in Vietnam, people told me. And so yeah, like K-bars and maybe the SOG knife for people that got those. Now, I don't have much hope for this. I've tried to use this saw before. This is just a piece of dead wood, and I know that it's not going to saw through it. The saw teeth are kind of, I'm not saying that they're just for looks, but you can make a notch with this though. So if you were making some kind of a little trap, you could make a notch with it. Or a shelter. So it just shows you, I mean, these things aren't just fantasy. I don't know who started that shit, that survival knives are. I saw a little piece recently that kind of inspired this video, which it was a good video somebody did on Hollywood and the First Blood knife, everything like that, the Rambo series, and it was, you know, it was very nostalgic, but it went there in saying that it was that these things are fantasies, and that's not really the case. I don't know why anybody would think that. So there's my little. So that'd be great for you know, shelter building, any kind of, you know, backwoods construction type thing. Yes, that is useful. So anyway, I just thought I'd show you that. Let me know what you think about this video. If you want me to do more, I can do some knife comparisons. I've done that in the past, where I take all my bush knives out, the ones of you know, different sizes and lengths, and test them cutting down trees and clearing brush. I don't throw them or anything, but you know, I stab stuff with them, whatever you want. Bayonets, you know, the AK-47 bayonets, all that stuff. You know, we can take it out and test it. So let me know. I'll talk to you guys later. I'll see you in the next video. Hit like and subscribe, please.